We are back live. Gosh, what a week it's been on another exciting David Pollack show. I can't tell you when we're ever going to have a slow news day. That was good for the show, bad for America. Somebody tried to assassinate the president again. Guys, another attempted assassination of President Trump. Meanwhile, the media is running around trying to make excuses for the left's dangerous rhetoric and trying to absolve themselves of the responsibility. They keep going around. The rhetoric is toxic. It's coming from them. And let me tell you something. Something's got to change because this has to stop. That, and we have We the Studios coming on tonight, a fantastic new conservative media platform, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. And it's all coming up right after this.
I'm mad as
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
We don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street. There's nobody anywhere seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe. Our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad.
Wait a minute. You ain't heard nothing yet. Wait a minute, I tell you ain't heard nothing.
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I'm mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore!
I'm mad as hell! I'm not gonna take it anymore!
I'm mad as hell and I'm not gonna
take it anymore!
I'm mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore!
Puppet. We're
What's
back
up, Dave? Dave, I was
for
about to say in the intro, I'm mad as hell.
Yeah, well, you should be, because what in the heck is going on? I mean, another attempted assassination of the president? Seriously? I mean, I thought we were going to come on today. We were going to be talking about Kamala's policies, and we were going to talk about all kinds of, all the cat eating stuff, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so much I wanted to talk about
Fun
today.
stuff.
And then on Sunday night, we're talking about another attempted assassination of the president. I mean, puppet. Another attempted. You believe what I'm saying? The words coming out of my mouth?
It's insane, Dave. Not only is it insane,
again.
I don't even know what to say. Like, it is insane that we're talking about another assassination attempt.
Yeah.
And of course, there's more shenanigans when you start to dive into it. And on top of that, I don't know about you, but my news feed isn't filled with breaking news about assassination attempts and talking about it from the mainstream media. I don't know about yours, but mine's not. This should be like a global phenomenon.
I'm telling you, Puppet. I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. It's something that if they don't stop calling, saying the president is a threat to democracy, if they don't stop with stopping him at all cost, all that rhetoric. Now, yesterday, of course, you had Chuck Schumer, you had Tim Walz, Kamala Harris, same old talking points. You know, they criticize us when there's a school shooting, like, oh yeah, hope and prayers isn't enough, ban guns. These people are like, political violence is never the answer. But at the same time, they're out there calling for it 24/7. When you say Trump is the biggest threat to democracy, what are they doing? And then, of course, even Fox News, and we'll talk about this with the panel tonight, because I'm so excited to have We the Studios, not only to interview them and talk about what they're doing, but to have what a great panel we have tonight.
I'm excited.
With some of their talent. And we're going to talk about this plenty with them. This attempted assassination, of course, is going to be on our second half of the show. We're going to talk a lot about it with our panel. But I'll tell you what, Puppet. I mean, the media, I think, is so dishonest. I just can't hate them more right now. And that's why the title of the show is United Hate of America. The media hates this country, and they're united to take it down.
So does the left. I mean,
they do.
I mean, not all the left, but the political left, the far left leaning side, they want America to change. They want They want to build it back different, right?
Build it back broke. I mean, that's their plan,
build it
right?
back broke, break the spirit, break the bank, so that they can control it. That's what they want. They don't want a free America. They don't want America that has freedom at its core. They want America that has following at its core. As you know, they want to control it.
It's awful, Puppet.
They want a nanny state.
And I'm going to talk about some of these headlines tonight with our panel. I mean, what they're trying to do. I'm almost at a loss of words. I'm never at a loss for words, but this really just bothers me to my core. And we still haven't learned anything about the first one. But again, I'm going to save that for later.
You know what? I would normally like it when you're at a loss for words, but I don't like this, Dave.
No, this isn't. I mean, it's frustrating. But we'll get to that later. Puppet, our first guest tonight, I want to tell you why I'm so excited. And by the way, that old Lee Greenwood, guys, if you haven't checked out our Lee Greenwood interview from September 11th, that was the coolest thing, right? Like, we had Lee Greenwood on the show talking about why he wrote God Bless the USA. It was one of the coolest interviews I've ever done. It was pretty spectacular. If you guys haven't checked it out, go over to my page on X and check it out. It's also on all of our social media channels. That was a cool interview on September 11th. I mean, I thought we were going to be talking about that kind of stuff, but I'm really excited about
what
this.
What a great tribute on September 11th to have Lee on the show.
It really was. Awesome. It really was. And I'm excited to have this guest on tonight because I met them at a Republican event. And they looked like movie stars, and they came up, and I see, who are all these fancy people at this table? Because you know how political events are. They're either dressed like me, like a stooge, or, you know, it was just an event. And then I see these people look like movie stars in nice dresses and fancy suits with the, you know, colored pocket scarves that I couldn't pull off because I'm not cool enough, and nice haircuts. And I'm like, who are these people? And I said, well, and they were sitting right next to us, and I turned over to them, and I'm like, you guys look like you're on TV. Who are you? And they said, well,
we are the TV.
And what is that, Puppet?
I said, they said, we are the TV.
No, we are the TV. We who you wish you were. And I'm like, you're right. I do. I'm envious. And so I started finding out about them. They're like, we're We the Studios. And they were telling me about what they are. And I'll let Kara explain who they are. But I mean, they told me about their mission and how they're making conservative media. Again, we're fighting back. We had Michael Seifert on last week talking about creating a platform where people can find conservative stores so they're not giving money to people that hate us. And now they're doing it with the media because I'm sick and tired of the woke indoctrination of my kids. Like, they turn on a show and I'm having to say, hey, guys, what you're seeing isn't appropriate, and here's really why. And teaching them how to decipher woke media. And now we have this great alternative. I'm so excited to introduce them to you. You know who else was there? Patriot Barbie was there, and this is somebody I followed for a while, and I was excited because I was going to speak with her at a Mike Lindell event in Nashville. Remember that event? They had to postpone it because they had to save America instead, and I get it. But I see her there. I'm like, hey, I know you. We follow each other, and it's so cool to meet people that you know from like the internet world in real life, and you find out they're even cooler in person. And so she'll be on our panel tonight too, along with Conservative Ant and a couple of other talent from the network. And so really, I'm super excited. But as I always say, without further ado, let me bring in Kara. She is the CEO and founder of this wonderful network. Kara, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for what you're doing in the conservative media space. Tell us, what inspired you to start a non-woke studio? And I love that you call it We the Studios, by the way. What a perfect name. Just perfect.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me and supporting We the Studios. So inspiration is just this. I worked in Hollywood for 17 years, commercials, print, music videos, stopped counting, close to 3,000 of those projects. And what I started realizing after I became a mom was there was a lot of propaganda, and it was very progressive. So, you know, you kind of take the commercial, you take the music video, you do those things. And I had an opportunity to work in reality TV back in 2007. And the really awesome thing that happened to me was I was cast in a reality TV show. We did the sizzle tape, we did the pilot tape. We actually aired, we did really well, almost 700,000 viewers for a pilot episode, which is a huge number. But they asked me to cast African-American talent in my reality show. And I just thought it's not about the skin color, it's about the quality of my work and my name is on it. So I wasn't willing to do that. But what it did was it gave me the idea to get into reality TV. So I launched my own production company. I worked for almost every major network you can imagine, either selling my own shows or taking leads and finding the type of shows that they would want at these networks. And I was asked in 2013, this is kind of how long they've been at it, to find pronoun kids. Know what a kid is, know what a pronoun is. I don't know what a pronoun kid is. So went back to the network. Usually when you don't know what something is, you just Google it, you find, propaganda or whatever it is, you find out information on it. And I couldn't find anything on it.
That was actually that you said it the right way the first time. You find the propaganda on it.
Find the it's in there, right? So reached out to the network. What is this pronoun kid thing? And essentially it was 12 to 14-year-old children living without a gender that identify as a pronoun with the support of their parents, and they wanted to highlight these stories. And that was kind of it for my husband and I, who's my business partner, still is my business partner. And we walked away from Hollywood. He wifed me up. We were married. We had 2 more kids. I stayed home and became a mom to ultimately 4 children. My husband continued to build his business. And I started to see, as a mom, you're in front of the TV a lot with your little ones. By episode 3, it was like, what did I just hear? What did they say? And working in, commercials, print, music videos, and TV for so long, I understand the propaganda. I understand those symbolism. You can see behind me, We the Studios versus Hollywood, there's symbolism and everything. And I was like, okay, I have this unique set of skills. I can sit here and complain on social media, or I could take the skills that I have and I could make TV for normal people. So I called my agent, who's still in Hollywood, but conservative, and said, I want to make normal TV. I want to make TV for normal people. He said, Kara, they won't buy a show from somebody like you. Right. You're white and you're conservative. And that just, they can't, you need to be Aborigines, you need to be mixed, you need to be from Jamaica or whatever it is, just anything other than a white person. And I said, well, then what do I do? He's like, I don't know. You're kind of SOL. So I ended up launching my own network, and that is We the Studios. And we're making TV for normal people. So it's entertainment. I know there's other platforms out there, and it's, I don't want to say political, but maybe activism based, maybe politically charged. And I feel, coming from Hollywood and entertainment background, sometimes we just need to decompress. Even though politics is super important, it's intertwined and everything, sometimes we just kind of need to relax. So this is TV for normal people. You're not going to see everybody wearing Trump hats every day. However, you will notice all of our stars happen to be conservative and have aligned values with us. So you can support a conservative brand with conservative talent, but you won't feel like you're listening or being entertained by a political candidate every moment of every day.
Well, so it's like agenda-free TV.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But that's exactly Puppet. I was about to go on this whole rant, and you summed it up. Really, agenda-free TV in 4 words. It really is. It's agenda-free TV. That's if you count TV as 2 words. Anyway, so
Dave,
I know. But that's the point. I mean, TV used to be well, maybe it was never agenda free, but it just wasn't
felt
obvious.
Like it was.
Right. Well, at least it just wasn't obvious. And what you're trying to do is create really TV that's not driving a narrative or an agenda. And that's not even, and the crazy thing is we have to call that conservative. To be conservative and have a conservative studio, it means that you have to just be not blatantly political. I mean, how crazy is that, right? And that's such an important point, because you're not trying to hit people over the head with politics. It's not an activism channel. It's, hey, we're going to entertain you without the narrative setting. And because that's all TV is now, is narrative setting. Like, we used to watch America's Got Talent with the kids, right? It was one of our favorite shows we used to watch, and it would be entertaining. There's some good people, some bad people, whatever. It was entertaining. But then they went and decided they were going to go all woke. And now, basically, you can see the auditions. And it was one year where there was like a blind autistic guy or something. And he came out, and I told him, like, oh, he won. He already won. It's his audition. And of course, that's who wins it. Because what they do is they have to bring in people now that fit these narratives. They're like, okay, well, nobody can win this show unless they're of a certain ethnicity, of a certain disability. They have to have this sad story. And then, of course, they bring them in. They do all the production. They steer the audience to, quote unquote, vote for them. So that's how they drive the shows. Everything, even reality shows where people think they're voting, is agenda driven. Everything is agenda driven. And everybody's tired of the narrative. And that's why I'm so excited about what you're doing. Because yes, we just need to be entertained. And even if it is from a conservative angle, like you said, they're conservative people, but they're not conservative shows. You have a show with Tito Ortiz. He's fishing. He's not fishing for conservative fish. He's just fishing. And that's what's so cool about it.
He's not asking the fish for their pronouns, right? When he pulls them up.
Yeah. He doesn't even
No
know what
pronoun.
they are. He's not even gendering them. He's just catching them and
Not
eating
even
them.
gendering. Is this a male fish or female fish? I don't know. We're going to eat it anyway.
Yeah, who cares?
Well, I will say what's really I find really interesting is that we actually had a reporter from Hollywood reach out, and they wanted a comment from a non-woke network why one of our series, Blake Reynolds' series, Raising Reynolds, they considered it woke. And do you know why they considered it woke? Because the children are biracial. And I said, now, isn't it possible that this family has a show because they're entirely talented, they're super amazing to watch, and they deserve it? We did not cast this family because of their skin color, and they just could not wrap that around their head. And Blake will tell the story best. When I cast Blake, actually he came out for a screen test at the studio. I hadn't met the family. It was just Blake was screen testing, and his family was with him. And his son walked up to me and said, "So what are you paying my dad?" And I said, "Who is this?" He said, "This is my son." And I said, "Who's this?" My daughter, my wife. And I'm like, okay, can your whole family stay for a screen test? I mean, it really just happened like that, where, we found Blake and then we cast the family based upon merit, not upon skin color. And Hollywood just can't wrap their head around it. I will say our propaganda is we do highlight families. We love to find families that the father is the leader of the household. Imagine that. Where there's a mom and a dad. Imagine that. And there's sisters and brothers that are not transitioning, and the son's not wearing a tutu. So if you call us, I guess that is our propaganda, that we're highlighting traditional American values of normal people. And that's why we say we are TV for normal people, because we're highlighting families that do normal things. And for some reason, Hollywood just can't get it in their head that we're non-woke, and they're thinking, oh, this is funny, you're woke because you have African-American talent. Can African-Americans be talented just because they're talented?
Right. And that's such an important point. 2 points. I mean, I love what you're saying, and it's so important. And the first point is, you don't cast people based on we're not trying to check a box. Oh, we need a biracial family. Cool, we got one. But that's how they think. They look at people first. The left does this. The left, you want to know what racism is? Because they call everything we do racist. You want to know what racist is? Setting out to do something solely based on somebody's skin color. Oh, we need this person. We need that person. And they're usually just talking about gender, race, ideology. And none of it is actually the content of the character. But there's so many movies, and I talk about this all the time because people are like, they're remaking every movie, like Ariel's now black instead of white. Well, we need to be more inclusive. You can have a story that's consistent with the ethnicity of a character. I mean, you have Tiana. It was set in what is it, Princess and the Frog. It was a movie set in New Orleans, and it was perfect. It met fine. If you wanted to really strive to have diversity, that film was actually done in a way that is consistent with the storyline. And then you go forward into a movie like The Eternals, with literally all of the Eternals were a different race, disability, gender. I mean, it's non-gender. They literally had every wokeism covered in that entire cast, and it made no sense to the story. And this is why nobody's watching movies anymore. The stories are inconsistent with the narratives, because they're like, wait a minute, why are you casting a man to be this fairy godmother? I'm so confused, because casting used to be who people envisioned the cast would be. Now it's casting of, well, this person needs to be black. Well, this person needs to be gay. This person needs to be gay and
who
black.
do we want people to envision for this role? Like, instead of like, who do they envision? Who do we want?
Character, right? You hear Puppet's voice, and that's the face you think Puppet's voice would have, and that's how you used to cast. But the other important point you made, Sarah. Yeah, well, I don't know why anybody would want that face. But the point,
Sarah likes me.
You just say that. She's going to be nice to you because you're a puppet and you're terrifying. So the other point you made that was great was that you talk about normal families. Do you know how many people got offended when you said that right now? Actually, none of my viewers, because my viewers are all normal people. But there's probably some who watch just to trash me online. And if they hear you say normal families because you said the father is the head of the household and they're not, whatever you want to rearrange the family to look like, That offends people now. It offends people to have a mother and a father where the father's the head of the household, where the mother takes care of the family and is the caretaker. The father is seen as the masculine one who protects the family, and the children are respectful to the parents and don't have weird things going on like gender issues and things pierced that shouldn't be pierced at their age, or having attraction to adults when they shouldn't have. Oh my gosh, how offensive is it to have a show that reflects 70% of the country? Now, it's not casting judgment on those who have alternative families or blended families or different lifestyles or any of that stuff. You can have two dads. You can have two moms. You can have whatever. It's not criticizing a family that doesn't make up the majority of this country's family structure, right, Kara? What we're talking about is, why are we ignoring and pretending that doesn't exist what the majority of the country looks like? And that's having a mother and a father and normal behaving kids and not weirdo stuff going on, right?
It's actually funny because they always say we want to have content where people identify with. Well, where is the content for me and my family and my children to identify with? And I couldn't find anything, so I had to make it. And it's really interesting because when we screen tested one episode, just to kind of get some feedback from some general public, everybody said, you know, how do you feel after it? Everybody said, I feel so good. But the number one takeaway was, wow, the dad is leading the family and he's a really strong character. How do you feel like that? I like that, but I don't see that. And we were like, freaking bingo, we got it. Because that was just, this is the way Blake runs his family. It was very natural for them. And he is at the forefront. He communicates with his kids. He leads his children. He teaches his children. And that is just not something, you know, all of these other streaming platforms, you see the dad and he's always a big doofus. Oh, I didn't know that happened. Mm-hmm. I didn't, you know, the dad's always the butt of every single joke. Mm-hmm. He's the weakest character on the show. The kids always know better. And then the mom's over there being pretty and stupid and like bending over and her bosoms are hanging out, where we just found a real family. And this is all anointed by God. I know that it is because, you know, we like I said, we screen test Blake and his whole family literally walked into my studio, and they ended up being our flagship series. And this family is just so amazing. But at the same time, we have conservative aunt who's openly gay conservative. And we the studios. We represent all people of America. I think most normal people don't have a problem with the gay community. We have a problem with any community shoving sexual propaganda or anything down our throats, which unfortunately they've hijacked the LGBT community, which I think Ant could probably speak to better than I possibly could. But, you know, we've been called racist. We've been called, you know, we don't like certain parts. We specifically name the studio, We the Studios, because we want to represent everybody that's normal and has normal values. And we might believe in different gods and we might have different kinds of families. But at the end of the day, we want to have traditional values for our children. So the next generation is normal and has something to look up to. Because right now, you know, Cardi B with these nasty songs, you can't let your kids listen to music. We need to have something for our kids to watch and look up to. Wow, I want to be a dad like Blake when I grow up and shoot guns with my kids in my yard. Wow, I want to be like Blake's wife. And she works. I mean, they're a working family, but she's still a really good mom and a good wife. Like, you can do both. You don't have to pick. I just want to be a career woman and not work. Lindsey Graham, one of our partners and one of our icons, strong working woman. She didn't have to pick. You don't have to pick, oh, I just want to be a businesswoman and not have kids to save the environment. It's insanity. So we're highlighting those types of things to kind of counteract. And I'm glad to be the one that's brave enough to do it.
Yeah, and you know, and I gotta go to break here in a second. When we come back, we're gonna bring on all of these people that you just mentioned. We're gonna bring in Blake. We're gonna bring in conservative Ant. We're gonna bring in the Patriot Barbie, Lindsey Graham. And here's the thing. I want to clarify but to the people who are listening, that every time they hear the word normal, they get agita. Normal doesn't mean you can't be gay or black, which she's not, because of course the left will say what she means by normal is a normal straight white family. She's being racist. That's not what she's saying. Normal to me, what I hear normal, and I think this is what you're saying, what normal means is the America that we grew up in. Now, that means you don't hate America. That means you don't side with Antifa. It means you don't try to burn down monuments or walk around and protest for terrorists that hate America. What normal means is somebody who just loves America. It doesn't matter if you're gay or black or this or that. Normal isn't a judgment about what you do in your private life or who you are externally or internally. Normal means You're American. You're American TV. TV that doesn't hide from America and America's values. Americans' values aren't racist or sexist or homophobic or any of those things. Americans' value is a place that appreciates freedom, appreciates a country where you can go and work hard and have something for fruits of your labor. And that's what normal television is. We just don't know anymore because you can't say the word normal because normal is offensive to people, because anything traditional, when I say traditional, anything that makes people feel good about America is now bad. And so that's why I love when you say it normal. And I want to clarify for people who are going to be like, oh my God, she said normal. She meant all kinds of bad things that we're going to say she said and still said what she's playing. Is there a term called liberal splaining? Or can we make that up today? Woke splaining. They want to woke explain you.
But they call us weird at the same time. So if they're calling us weird and we're saying we're making TV for normal people, I mean, it's kind of like almost goes hand in hand. So you know what? We're so weird that now we've become normal and we're TV for normal people. And I think normal people will understand what we're saying when we say it. And if you're offended by that, then you're probably weird.
You're probably part of the problem.
I like it. Kara calls people weird and says everybody else is normal.
Tonight on the Bollock Show.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break real quick, and when we come back, we're going to invite on some of your talent. You're going to stick around for the panel. We're going to have a discussion. We'll talk about their shows a little bit, and then I also want to talk. I got to get you guys' take on this attempted assassination because everybody's talking about it right now. It's insane. And you know who isn't talking about it? The media, of course. The mainstream media. They're moved on to other things. They're already talking about Kamala again.
Oh, because they're normal.
Yeah, because
they don't talk about things like that.
Yeah. So I don't. Tell you what, man, we'll talk about this after, because another thing about the media, you're a media company. I think the media is doing a lot of damage and they're a big threat to this country. And we're going to talk about all of that right after the break. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Environment, it's never been more important to secure your hard-earned wealth for you and your family's future. FinSec Life works to offer industry-leading customer service to help successful individuals and businesses protect their wealth. Whether it's a business succession plan, estate liquidity, or a variety of life and long-term care policies, FinSec Life can help deliver peace of mind, knowing that if something happens, you or your company is taken care of. Visit finseclife.com. That's FINSEC life.com. Securities offered through Valmark Security Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Valmark Advisors Inc., an SEC-registered investment advisor. FinSec Life is a separate entity from Valmark Securities Inc. and Valmark Advisors Inc.
Business owners, are you sick of dealing with those big-name telecommunications companies that leave you frustrated with terrible customer service and then lock you into long-term contracts? That's why I want to introduce you to my friends over at Public Telephone Company. They are an industry-leading VoIP provider offering all-in-one business communication solutions that are completely contract-free with competitive pricing. But perhaps the best part, they're all about supporting their customers with US-based customer service, and they're always willing to go the extra mile. Don't let your phone company drive you mad. Call Public Telephone Company today at 877-314-4080 or visit them at publictelephonecompany.com. That's publictelephonecompany.com.
Welcome to Raised Right Books, where each tale unfolds with gentle conservative lessons. These stories come alive with hand-drawn illustrations and playful rhymes. If you've been looking for ways to teach your little patriots valuable life lessons, look no further. Discover these delightful stories at raisedrightbooks.org.
I'm so sick of this woke crap.
Let's watch TV for normal people.
A super influencer is someone that takes the cause that they fight for, whether it's social media, networking, partnerships, and just dominates that movement with it. Let's get into today's episode.
We gotta build a chicken coop today.
We have 4 beautiful children that we adopted.
Anytime you're out there with your kids, it's teaching them to be a productive member of society. Let's herd them like cattle, boys and girls. Come on. We take race out of it. We parent based off principles.
We're going to take everyone's phone so they can sit and actually talk to each other.
This is a kitchen fight for sure.
My name's Tito Ortiz.
Get some!
Everybody knows me from the fighting world.
Real.
But I'm also an avid fisherman.
Tito Ortiz got his sea monster.
Hello!
Hey guys, it's Conservative Ant.
I'm Kendall in Kentucky.
I'm Blake Reynolds.
I'm the Patriot Barbie.
I'm Amber Nicole Ortiz.
Check out the first and only non-woke entertainment.
Only on We the Studios.
You have daughters cheerleading, then you have parents chopping off their breasts.
There's so much to do to save America.
And we're back with We the Studios, and Kara, I'm very excited now to introduce our audience to your people. First up, and now she even looks like, I'm seeing her backstage. You guys can't see her, but Lindsey Graham, the Patriot Barbie, already looking like a superstar. This is how you guys remember how I described in the open what they look like when I met them. I was like, I knew they're TV people. First up here on our panel, we have Lindsey Graham, the Patriot Barbie. See, if you saw her, you're like, oh, she has to be special. So
I need bigger hair, and I would say a Starbucks, but I would never have a Starbucks in my hand. So
listen, I'll tell you the truth. If I can't find coffee, I will drink Starbucks. I usually just don't if I have other options. But
off with your head.
You know, those white lids.
Head.
Yeah, they bother me. But
Those darn white lids.
I go in there wearing a Trump hat, and if they don't spit in my coffee, I win. So whatever, added protein if they do. I also want to welcome onto the panel Blake Reynolds. We talked so much about him before we came on. I think Kara was singing your praises a lot in your new show that I know everybody's excited to see. I also want to bring in Conservative Ant and bring him up. It looks like he might be driving. So let's say you could look. The background isn't moving, guys. So so he's not doing anything dangerous.
I'm not driving. I promise. I'm not
safely
driving.
on the side of the road here from his vehicle.
You're gonna get canceled, Ant. If you're just even in the car, they're gonna accuse you. I'm in the passenger seat. My husband's driving. They see the windows going and they just annihilate me.
Wait, the car's moving again. You're busted. You're busted.
I have a driver.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
It's important to clarify.
We'll talk about that driver later.
I have a driver also. Can we make fun of him being a movie star right now? I have a driver.
Yeah, it's his left arm and his right foot. But yeah, whatever. It's working.
I have somebody who works my mouth.
That's true. Muppet has a driver for sure.
That's right.
All right.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the panel.
Whoever's driving Puppet is always under the influence, though. That is
good to be here.
for sure. So I want to give you guys a few minutes. I usually go right into the news, but because Kara spoke so highly of you guys, I want to give you a few minutes to talk about who you are, what you do, and what you do with the show. I know it's a little bit untraditional for my audience, and we'll get to the news. Don't worry, but we have superstars, so we got to ask them about themselves. So I'll just go ladies first. Lindsey Graham, the Patriot Barbie, tell us who you are, and what you do with the studios.
Well, can we be done with this? Because it was definitely a joke.
Glasses?
I'm not that.
You put them on. I'm not your props manager. I'm the host of the. You do whatever you want, but I am here for craft services.
I want to see my audience. So I am Lindsey Graham, the Patriot Barbie. I am a partner in We the Studios. Kara and Curtis are my business partners. They're amazing. I'm also head of casting, and I have 2 series coming out. Well, no, 1 series coming out. 1 I'm featured on. So my super influencer episode is dropping tomorrow.
Wow.
And then we are in the works on another series called American Lockdown. Release date to be determined.
Oh, that one sounds exciting too.
Yeah.
Moving along. Blake Reynolds, I know you're the star of the show. Tell us a little bit about your show, who you are, and I think everybody already probably loves you, but just take it away.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to be here. Can everybody hear me just fine?
Just fine.
Excited to be here. The show, I think Kara kind of explained the whole show perfectly. There's not a whole lot to add. Just a normal dad out here raising normal kids. I would say the kids are probably the star of the show. I don't know. There's really not a whole lot of woke explaining to do when it's talking to me. I think what you see is what you get with me. And I'm not afraid to put it on social media. I'm not afraid to put it online. Kara saw that I raised my family in a unique way or a different kind of way. I know a lot of families like mine, but they would never put that stuff out on social media for everyone else to digest. And I'm like, man, if we don't show them, they won't know. So I raised my family in a normal way. It's almost not normal anymore. It's almost a peculiar way. It seems like we've gotten away from the 90s. I was 80s and 90s kids in if you were to ask me, Blake, what would be your biggest goal, your main goal for this show? I would say I want to bring back that childhood memory that I had where everything was normal. Like I respected my neighbors because the shows that I would see, you would see kids respecting their neighbors. Like it was Mr. Wilson, you know, even though that one probably not a good example, but it was like saying the word Mr. before you said somebody's name. Like you do that. I found myself around a bunch of people, and if I knew their first name, I would say Mr. this or Mr. that. And they're like, boy, where are you from? It ain't from here. And I'm like, you know, in Kentucky, I grew up in the 80s and 90s on Saved by the Bell and Boy Meets World and different things. Kids still respected their parents. And I think friends respected each other. Like friends were actually friends, but now you see it today. It has to be drama filled. Two friends hate each other secretly behind their back. That's why we have some of these shows on television where it's like, just drama all the time. And I was like, I didn't grow up in drama. Matter of fact, the dramatic shows I wasn't even allowed to watch. I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons, like because they said bad words like fart, you know, like I wasn't allowed to watch shows like that. So it's like, I think when I was explaining to Rick Leventhal, I said, I want to take people back to the 90s. And if you could say, I don't want to lose that for nothing. And I would say, are you willing to pay $17.76 for it? Because if you are, then this is what you're saving, because 20 years down the road, we'll be so far away from the 90s, it's not even funny. Then normal is LGBTQ plus everything else indoctrinating kids. If we don't stop it now, and which I know that's probably going to lead you to the next guest, which is my friend, my greatest friend, honestly, on this earth right now. I mean, Lindsay, you're there. We got the same tattoo, but me and Ed got the same tattoo.
We do, actually. Show the audience. You can't just say that.
Yeah,
look at this.
Wait,
you can't say we have matching tattoos.
It depends on where it is.
Yeah. So mine and Aunt had the same matching tattoo on our buttocks, but no, I think it's just it really is just normal people loving each other normal without the drama. And I think that's when you get on We the Studios, that's exactly what you see. We're literally bringing back the home improvements, and it's like, I want to talk to my neighbor over the fence. Now nobody knows who their neighbor even is. So I think we really just want to bring that back. And I've talked a lot, so you could throw it away.
You gave me word. The show's over. Sorry, Aunt. Sorry.
As you were talking, I need to have you back, because we need to just have a show to talk about what's wrong with America and how we get back to the America we used to.
Yeah, we could. Do you remember meeting me at the gala?
Yeah, of course.
I was the good-looking guy you were talking about when you were.
You guys were all good-looking. All of you were good-looking.
I'm just kidding.
That's how I knew you guys were celebrities, because I'm like, she heard it. Sarah heard in the open. I'm like, these people look nice. They're all dressed up. They look fancy. They're definitely not political people. I said, who are you guys? I want to be friends.
I say that to say. I say that to say thank you for being a man of your word. Here we are. You have us on our show just like you said you would. So thank you.
100%. And I'm not done supporting you guys. We're just getting started. I'm a big fan of what you guys are doing. Let me move over to Ant before I run out of television time, because conservative Ant, we occupy the same space on X, and then to learn that he's in this space with you guys too, it's really exciting, because folks like conservative Ant, a lot of people have a lot of respect for him on X, because he's such a good patriot, and now he's helping on this side as well. I was really excited to hear your name associated with this. So thank you for joining, and tell us what your role is with the studio.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. So I am on Super Influencer. It's highlighting, the life of what we do to motivate freedom-loving Americans, basically. What I love about what this panel, what just kind of happened here was, a lot of people we keep saying normal, and you're going to have those woke people that are like, so gay isn't normal, or no, it's fine. We're just not, we don't have to talk about it all the time. We don't have to talk to kids about it.
Right.
And that's going back to what you and Kara were talking about, is what's so important about this is, I'm the child of an immigrant. My dad came here when he was a kid from Italy. Like, he loves the United States of America. They came here the right way. They came here the legal way. So we've created this beautiful life in this beautiful country. And, the gay thing, the black thing, like, all that doesn't matter, but we're tired of having kids indoctrinated all the time. So to be part of this and, bringing masculinity back, even though I am what I am, I did have a father figure in my life. He was a strong man. He was the man of the household. And I do that for my nieces and nephews as a man.
You're a strong man, Ann. A strong black man you are.
Strong man, Blake.
I would like to say
man.
something.
I mean,
would like
gay
to say
man, not black.
something. In accolades to Ant, David, I would like to say, like, I didn't even know that his dad was an immigrant. I didn't know any of that. And the difference, Ant, and the difference with We the Studios is that we're not blanket covering up certain things about people. We're just not making it your whole identity. Like Ant doesn't need to be the gay guy. He doesn't need to be the immigrant. He doesn't need to be like labeled. We are just normal people. And if you don't focus on that part of somebody and you don't make it their identity, then you're not indoctrinating the kids. It would be like saying, if I talk about I'm married to a man and have 3 kids, I'm indoctrinating children to believe in the traditional family. But we're not doing that. We're just we're providing TV without focusing on the things that don't matter. We're just focusing on the entertainment part. Imagine that, entertainment in entertainment.
Yeah, imagine that. I'm gonna stop calling Puppet the Puppet.
Yeah, you got to. I'm just a mannequin American like everyone else.
He's just a mannequin American. He's just a puppet. I don't know why. You made me feel bad there, Patriot Barbie, because now I'm like,
that's right.
Get him.
I call him the
He's
puppet.
always labeling me.
He's so much.
No,
Well,
if you hadn't said anything, I actually wouldn't have known he was a puppet. It's just I don't see people. I don't see skin color like that. I don't see species. I'm just like, he's a normal guy. Now that you say that, I see.
And if you judge him, and if you want to judge Puppet by his insides, he's filled with My Pillow's patented fill. So, yeah, you see you. It's like live PD with conservative Ann. He's moving through different places.
It's a show.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I would have been on time if Trump didn't just have to speak at 8. No, I'm just kidding.
He almost didn't get assassinated.
What I wanted to say was that's why it's so important to show people that naturally, Karen Curtis were able to bring people together that do have the same mindset, in the sense of all it is we love America. We don't want our kids indoctrinated. We want to show people normal TV with this is normal.
That's
normal is this. Leading our lives as upstanding citizens, raising kids, raising nieces and nephews to be the men and women that we want them to be in a functional society without all the craziness. So,
amen.
Yeah. Listen, I love you guys. I love the stories. I can't wait to see what happened. You guys are traveling, dropping off the stage.
Mic drop. He's out.
What's going on here? He's like, yep. He's like, I can't compete. He's out.
I've said everything I need to say, so we're done.
All right. Well, look.
That's a Hollywood star for you.
Yeah. Right.
An icon. That's an icon for you.
I'll have to speak
Hollywood.
I'll have to speak to his agent.
Hollywood.
So, all right, look, let's get to the part of the show where I get you guys' take on you guys's. That's a New York word, but it means everybody.
I understood it.
Yeah. I'm going to get you guys' take on some news, because of course people want to not only watch your shows and be entertained by you, they also want to hear your opinion on what everybody wants to talk about. That's why we do this panel stuff, because the panel part of this show, the first part is when I get to really have good conversations with people while Puppet just sits there. And then the second half of the show is when we get to do the water cooler thing, when you go to work on Monday, well, nobody goes to work anymore, but when you go and hang out with other people and they go, hey, what did you think about the fact that Trump almost got assassinated today, right? Because that's what everybody's talking about. So on the panel part of the show is when we get to do and actually save you some time, because when you go and find your neighbor and they're like, hey, what'd you think about, you go, just watch David Pollack's show. I was on there. He asked me that question and other people had opinions and it was great. So you don't actually have to ask me anymore. So I'm saving you time. That's what I do when people go, hey, David, what's your thought on it? Did you watch the show? Well, no, then I'm not going to tell you. Go watch the show. And if you have follow-up questions, let me know. Because that's why I do this, right? To entertain.
And that's why he has so many views. He doesn't talk to anyone. He's like, go watch my show.
What's
your name? You want to know my name? Go watch my show.
Go to my show. That's how you do it. All right, so let's talk about this. Now, you guys know, setting it up for you. If you were on vacation or something over the weekend and you weren't paying attention, somebody decided, randomly, of course, to grab a high-powered rifle with a scope, set up 2 backpacks with ceramic plates for armor, and put his rifle through a fence at a Trump National Golf Course there in Palm Beach and almost take a shot at President Trump from 300 to 400 yards away. Again, Secret Service engaged, shot at the man, didn't hit him, don't understand. He got into his car, left, drove very slowly and under control until they apprehended him. Here's the moment they apprehended him. I'm going to show you a video of the police officer or the sheriff explaining a little bit about the press conference a little bit. But here is the guy being apprehended.
Keep walking! Keep that long.
I wish you would have let that dog get him. And here is a press conference from earlier. I think he's the Martin County Sheriff talking about the facts here. And this is going to lead to my question for you because it's odd.
Do you have any, to your knowledge, any ties to Martin County or the Treasure Coast?
Yeah, to my knowledge, does he have any ties to Martin County? I think the answer, to my knowledge, the answer is no. I have no knowledge. I think what we're finding out, he's not from this area, which of course raises the bigger question: is how does a guy from not here get all the way to Trump International, realize that the president, former president of the United States, is golfing, and is able to get a rifle in that vicinity? I think that's the question the FBI, the Secret Service are laser focused on today. Is this guy part of a conspiracy? Is he a lone gunman? If he's a lone gunman, President Trump is that much safer because we have him. But if he's part of a conspiracy, then this whole thing really takes on a very ominous tone.
Sure. Now, we have Blake back, by the way, and his agent said, you have to go back on the show, and he said, fine, I'll go back just for a few more minutes, but I'm. So let me set this up for you. This guy's from Hawaii. Somehow came to Florida. That's what the New Yorkers call it. He came down here, found himself with a high-powered rifle with a scope, knew Trump's schedule somehow because that wasn't on Trump's schedule. Nobody knew that Trump was going to be there. He was golfing with a friend. He wasn't like, this wasn't a public event. Somehow this guy knew he was going to be there. Had the ability to get a car, get a gun. By the way, he's a felon. He shouldn't have been in possession of a gun. So he didn't easily obtain one, and then found himself in a position to shoot at the president from 300. God, I offended him again. 300 yards away. And you heard
and stood out there for 12 hours.
And stood out there for 12 hours and waited. Now, you heard what the sheriff said. If he's a lone gunman, then fine, we got him. He said, but if there's something else going on, then maybe it's part of a bigger conspiracy. Patriot Barbie, I'll go to you first. Ladies first.
Thank you.
Is this a conspiracy? What do you think is going on? We had Pennsylvania a couple weeks ago, no answers, a lot of questions, and now this?
I started, when I was watching the press conference, I started getting a little upset. I thought what he was going for was like a gun control vibe, right? Like, how did this guy come into Martin County from wherever, from Hawaii, or however you say it? And how did he get a gun? And I'm like, oh, are we going there? Like, oh, it's so easy to get a gun. And then he went conspiracy, which I thought was really awesome, because why is it that just we get to be the conspiracy theorists? He is on a microphone as a law enforcement officer saying, this doesn't make sense. And I'm willing to say that publicly, that him getting a gun in another county when he doesn't even live in the state is so astronomical that there is something bigger going on, and I'm not afraid to say it. And I think that's what we have to be looking at, because there's enough crazy, radical, pissed off liberals that, sure, we had to know that at some point they were lunatic enough to try to assassinate Trump. And I also love that he accidentally calls him President Trump multiple times. And he's like, former president. I'm like, no, he's the current president.
You could call him president.
Yeah, I think he's president, yeah. But we knew that this would happen at some point. They've created so much hate against Trump. But the fact that it's happened on repeat now so quickly and so aggressively, it does make you wonder, who is the puppet? No offense, Carlson. Who is the puppet behind all of this?
None taken.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's interesting. Kara, I'm going to throw it over to you. What's your thoughts?
So I just want to take it back and kind of what Lindsay said. Our nation is sick, right? And like Lindsay touched on it, where they being the media, but also entertainment. We had Kathy Griffith holding up a severed head of Donald Trump. Nobody was outraged other than the very few conservatives, and none of us had the mouthpiece of mainstream media. We had Snoop Dogg in a music video with the gun, bang. So our entertainment has been little by little over since 2016, indoctrinating the left, indoctrinating Democrats that Trump is bad and Trump should die. And now here we are with 2 assassination attempts. And I'm sorry to like shamelessly plug We the Studios, but entertainment, like people really need to realize entertainment and politics are very, very intertwined. If they weren't, everything that you see on your TV would not be politically charged. So it's 100% the fault of entertainment, of media, of mainstream media, constantly telling people that have no critical thinking skills, Trump is bad and Trump must die. Only thing people believe, you can tell them everything you want, they believe what they see. And when their lying eyes see Snoop Dogg with the gun and Kathy Griffith with the head, and we're the only people outraged, this is what they've been spoon feeding them this. So 100%, I think there's a conspiracy for the left, for, you know, probably some people in law enforcement that want to take him out, because you know what? If he's gone, they can continue their charade of controlling the people, controlling the media. If he's in there, people like us have larger platforms and the playing field will be leveled. So they need this man gone so they can keep doing whatever the heck they've been doing. And ultimately, it's going to get worse than it is now. They want us to eat dogs. They want us to eat cats. There's a reason this story is just breaking now. They want to desensitize us to all of these things. So the media is complicit, and the conspiracy is it's the media 100% behind it. And there's definitely more to the story. This was not a lone gunman. This is a huge conspiracy. Will we ever hear the truth of it? Probably not.
Wow. Yeah. Blake, send it over to you.
Yeah. So for starters, I'm not going to eat a cat. I'll take myself out before I have to do that. I think you kind of brought up a good point. I think Donald Trump always said they're after you. They're just trying to go through me. I think if they can assassinate Donald Trump, then they can proverbially or metaphorically assassinate us, whether it be me, Aunt Barbie on social media. It could be Kara and her network. Take the hand right out of the puppet. I mean, the whole thing.
Rip it out.
I think if they assassinate him first, they're coming after us next in a metaphorical sense. So I think Donald Trump, the first thing he has to do when he gets in office, I do believe that Donald Trump will be the 47th president of the United States. If my conspiracy theory brain isn't correct, he's probably still the president of the United States, but I'll digress there. I love me some Donald Trump. I'm backing Donald Trump 100%, but I know that he has to get in the White House and not just clean a few people out. It's not getting rid of the Paul Ryans and the Mitt Romneys and whatever. Like we jumped on board with Donald Trump when it was getting some of those rhinos out of, well, he put them in the spotlight, and then all of us were like, okay, if Trump don't like him, we don't like him either. I think this time when he gets in the White House, he has to start from the top and work his way all the way down the bottom. And if that's 5,672 people, I hope and I pray that Donald Trump completely cleans the swamp this time, because if he doesn't, it's just going to be something that sits there and festers. In the 4 years that he goes into the White House and does his thing, and if they still exist, it will grow back, and and then our lives are at risk for assassination in a metaphorical sense. So I just hope that Donald Trump gets in there and does his thing. We know that this is this ain't just a lone gunman doing his thing. We know that. I think everybody knows this. I just saw something a while ago that this guy was in a BlackRock commercial as well. Like for real. For real, I've never been in a BlackRock commercial. If I commit any crime, you know what you can't find? You can't find me in a BlackRock commercial. I promise. Maybe a
both assassins were in BlackRock commercials.
Yeah, like how do we how does this keep happening? How many coincidences have to happen before America wakes up and goes, hey, there's a reason they're trying to take him out, and I do want to vote for the guy that they've tried to take out twice, and they're going to try to take out a third time. And when he gets in office, they're going to continue to try and continue to try until they stop breathing. They're going to try to take him out.
Wow. Yep. Conservative Ant, throwing it over to you.
Yeah, so I've been praying on it because I was very, very emotional the other day before the second assassination attempt. And I made a video that went super, super viral and crazy. And I said that I basically hated everybody. I hated everybody, every Kamala voter. And the reason why, I typically don't hate people, but the reason why I said that was because they hate us. They hate us. And it's hard to not match that energy. And so when I see the crazy and then this happens, I say, wow, so you don't only want to assassinate him, you want to assassinate any of us.
All of us.
You really don't care. And so I think it's more than even Donald Trump. I fear that my my family and my nieces and nephews and anybody that I've loved and worked with and my friends that do support a certain side, it's like they're forcing everybody to become a Democrat. And that's so wrong. It is so wrong. And so I don't hate anybody, but I really strongly do not align with them and do not like them right now. And so for that, I it's just so scary. And to go off of Blake's point too, it's like when Trump is gone, who's to say that they won't try to knock on every podcaster's door next? I was on Tim Pool last year and we were talking about this, and it's like, when are we next? When are we on a no-fly list just because I post TikToks and Instagram reels? So it's insanity. It's insanity.
The day after the election, if Trump loses, that's when we're all next. I mean, trust me. My kids ask me all the time, aren't you nervous going on television and saying bad things about the government? And I'm like, the fact that you think that that's not okay is not okay. That we live in a country where now the children think you're not allowed to have free speech. It's terrible.
Yeah, they're afraid that their father uses free speech. That's a problem. Like that's where we're going. You guys have been talking about indoctrination all night, and that's why you started the media company. And that's what this is. This has been indoctrination against Donald Trump on television, through the media, through the stars. This is indoctrination against American values, American families on television for going on, years and years now. And eventually that stuff desensitizes the population to the outcomes. And here we are. We have now 2 attempts on a former president's life. Hardly see it on the media. Most people are like, meh, it's Trump. Somehow this is okay. Everybody should be in an outrage. Everybody should be asking questions, but it's hardly happening. The only people doing it, again, are us crazy right-wing puppets, as they would call us. But you know what? I exist because I point out the puppets on the left, and there's so many of them. I've got a full-time career doing it, and you know what? It's disgusting, and I'm glad I'm here with you guys.
Absolutely.
And David, too.
That is... I'm out of time today. We got Trump coming on at 8:00 on Spaces again, guys. I know everybody's very excited.
We can make room for Trump. I will submit to Trump.
Yeah, I mean, I had to move my show.
Tell him, man, he's daddy.
What's that?
Yeah,
exactly.
As Ant would say, he's daddy.
He is daddy.
Yes.
So
Daddy
Daddy Trump's coming on. So we're going to cut our show a little short, but guys, check out We the Studios. Please go and support them. Watch their stuff. Tell your friends about them, because we have to support people that are trying to save America. I want to remind you guys also, coming up here, and I hope you guys, We the Studios, should be there. If you want a table at this event, by the way, because Public Square has their business summit coming up here. Have you guys heard about this? The business summit that's going to be here in Orlando, Florida, October 10th and 11th. You guys should get a table. I can get you a discount on tables if you use my promo code Pollock20. And if anybody wants to go to this event, you get discounted tickets at promo code Pollock20. So don't forget to go to publicsquare.com, get your tickets. And guys, I'm serious. You should get a table there. We're going to be there. Puppet's going to be there. We're going to be having a lot of fun. And we look forward to seeing everybody else there. So make sure you're there. And don't forget, if you want a MyPillow, if you want something as comfortable and plush as Puppet, go to mypillow.com, promo code Pollock. Save yourself up to 80% site-wide. Guys, I'm going to leave you with this tonight, because we talk about eating the dogs and eating the cats, and Daddy himself is coming on. So guys, We the Studios, thank you so much for coming on. And I'm going to leave you guys with this little ditty that'll get stuck in your head all night. Good night, everybody, and thank you for joining.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live there.
People of Springfield, please don't eat my cats. Why would you do that? Eat something else. People of Springfield, please don't eat my dog. Here's a catalog of other things to eat.
They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs.